So, can you beat Fallout 3 only using the items from Vault 101? I'm going to define using an item as equipping an item, consuming an item, or selling it if it's not from the original zone. This largely won't count for quest items, I'll just have to use them as I just defined. Also, big rule, no speech checks. I feel like it would be too close to a pacifist run at that point, and we're really trying to play this game as normal as possible while having a limited amount of resources. One last caveat, this is not Fallout 3, this is Fallout New Vegas running the Tale of Two Wastelands mod, as that is the easiest way to play Fallout 3 in a modern PC. It shouldn't affect our run much, as the items in the vault are going to be the same. Anyway, let's get into it. To kick off our Vault-Tec approved playthrough, we're going to go ahead and make our character. My plan was someone who levels up quickly, has a lot of agility for sneak, and a ton of endurance for health. Hopefully sneak will allow us to get past enemies, endurance because we don't have a lot of stim packs and we're going to need as much health as possible going into each fight. I dumped everything else into strength. I was thinking that at worst I could fall back on unarmed as a skill to use in combat, but let's hope it doesn't come to that. I tagged sneak, repair, and melee weapons. Sneak and melee is going to be our main way of dealing damage. Took a lot of repair hoping that I could maximize the amount of hits items going to have when I get out of the vault. In this playthrough we need to maximize items, so that means kill everybody and take everything. Never knew there were a couple essential characters inside the vault. I've never tried to kill every single person I see. And with that, we've wiped out Vault 101. Notice in the first part of the playthrough I wasn't wearing any armor. I was too timid to use any armor, because any hit you take or any hit you give is a hit you can't use later. I was terrified to use any of my resources. This was kind of silly. If you play smart, it doesn't even matter. However, stat boosting chems are the most important item in the entire game. We do not have any way to get more of those. They are worth their weight in gold. So it's about now that you forgot to get the bobblehead, but don't worry, it just reduces your chance of addiction. We have so little chems, we're never going to get addicted. Leaving the vault, we have 5 full set of security armor, some vault suits with bonuses, a dozen batons, and a baseball bat, like our BB gun, our 10 mil, plus some stim packs. Now our game plan is to go over to Megaton and do all the quests available there. Let's take explosive, we want to be able to get rid of that bomb. We're going to take the Black Widow perk so that way we can do extra damage to males. This may be New Vegas, but let's make it as close to Fallout 3 as possible. Let's turn off iron sights and let's also take this perk instead of taking the confirmed bachelor perk. Megaton is an awesome first town. There's tons of different stuff to do depending on what skills you have. You get a lot of XP for clearing out Vault 101s. Let's go ahead and tick up explosives in Science 25 and grab some lockpick. I did get 200 caps from this quest, but I can't use them, so might as well just dump them. I'll be doing this with any caps or items I get throughout the entire playthrough, either on the ground or in containers. I submit my vault scrap to Walter and get 60 caps, the most of any I got in my testing. Heading over to Morio, let's grab the Wasteland Survival quest. Selling her everything I got, I end up with just under 200 caps. I can't use this to buy anything in the game, but this will allow me to repair maybe 2 items in the playthrough. Let's go ahead and pick up the perk by just downing a bunch of radiation from the bomb. Last piece of business in town, let's go to Moriarty's and let's pick up a couple quests. Go into Arafu, and also decided to just end up blowing up Megaton because funny. Headed out in the world, I have a bunch of armor, a bunch of weapons, a few stim packs, and the ability to repair maybe twice with this playthrough. So, you know, pretty good. After spending a ton of time trying to sneak through the super duper mark, I just rushed into the pharmacy, activated the robot, and let the robot take care of my problems. Grabbing the food and medical supplies, I can come back and accomplish all the objectives for this chapter. I didn't use those items after all, I just submitted them for the quest. 2 down, 1 to go, let's go to Minefield. Since it's on the way, we'll hit Arafu. Stumbling into the big town on the way to Arafu. We learned about their problem with the super mutants, but since super mutants are strong, let's not deal with that. I wanted to watch a baseball game, but some angry players chased me off. Didn't feel like fighting them, so I just let the friendly local star Arafu sort out my problems for me. Dealing with the family is extremely easy. Just go to the vendor and use Black Widow or Strength to convince him to give you the key. Open up the kid's door, give him the letter, quest done. Also, no matter what you do, do not remember that the family kidnaps innocent people and drinks their blood. They are good people, so says karma. With my level up, I get Sneak and Lockpick 25. Might as well grab Educated. We don't level up too much, but we want a lot of skill points. The higher level we get, the higher level our enemies get. I get jumped by some raiders and officially decide to start wearing armor. Minefield was pretty easy, I only blew up 1 time. I got my mine, got back to Moira, quest done. The first thing I did when I got back to Megaton was break my leg. Moira asked me to. Next thing to do, we're going into a Mirelurk den. We gotta plant a device and get out. We can't really fight Mirelurks, so we're just gonna run past them and then plant a device and leave. Bad AI is bad AI. With that, we've completed every available quest from Moira. We can't fight mole rats with their special sticks as we'd be using an item. Let's go ahead and drop every item we've acquired as a reward while we're here. We gotta pop over to Moriarty's to get the location of our father. Don't feel like doing his bidding, so let's go over to his terminal and just get it from there. As we leave Megaton for the last time, we're gonna rig the bomb and get out of here. On my way to Timpani Tower, I got stopped by a Wastelander. He told me about the ants in Grey Ditch, which I never knew could happen. I thought only the kid could tell you about it. Kinda blew my mind. Playing this for a decade and still get new experiences. After arriving at Timpani Towers, we go up to the penthouse and go ahead and just do the deed. And with that done, we now have a place to sleep We can fast travel back to Timpani Towers whenever we need health. We got a bunch of negative karma, which isn't great because we're going to have bounty hunters coming after us. Let's go ahead and give a homeless guy 10 balls of water, which almost cancels out all the negative karma, which is hilarious. Alright, let's head over to GNR. On the way, we encounter our first super mutant, which is just a terrible experience. Super mutants have a ton of resistances, and we're about to encounter a bunch of them up ahead, and for the rest of the game, really. The bat can barely do the job, so it looks like we're taking a trip to Spain without the S. Also lose a set of armor, which kind of blows. I hope we never run out of these. I'm just going to go ahead and let the Brotherhood take care of everything on the way. I will steal the kill. 3 dogs the same, except we can't pass a speech check to just ignore his quest. We have to go beat up a bunch of super mutants to get a dish. Yay. I go out the back way, which I've never done before, but appears to be the canon way to go in the game. I get trashed by dogs, so I go ahead and pop some stim packs. Let's pull out the bat and just get through this. I can't. I try to be sneaky and do some cool stuff like activating turrets to get rid of the super mutants, but I get murdered, so let's just run through like we did with the Mirelurks and get the dish. The dish is set up and we're ready to keep going with our adventure. With the knowledge of our father's location and 3 dogs approval, we get a level up, so let's go ahead and dump that into sneak. Let's go ahead and grab some toughness. We'll take less damage, and if we ever run out of armor, hey, we got some natural ones. Alright, let's slow down for a minute here. We're going to head over to Great Itch and do the Those quest. I was a little bit worried fire damage was going to rip through my character, but as it turns out, fire damage really wasn't a big issue. Plus, it was pretty standard. I did choose to use my gun to kill some of the ants. I got down to pretty low health. I saved some time and stim packs by using some ammo. Good trade in my opinion. Gonna go ahead and take Ant Sight, considering I have full strength. It is good to know this is a way to get extra strength, as it's a perk, in case you want to go with 9 and have a bit of a different build. I get murdered by the same ants like 20 times, but then just sprint past them to get out of the tunnels. Seems like we have to head over to Rivet City now. The kid needs a place to live, and I need to find out where my dad went. Time to kick off the second half of the playthrough. I give the kid a new place to live, as that's just a nice thing to do. I learned my dad worked on Project Purity, so I guess we're heading over to the Jefferson Memorial. There I continue to try to convince myself that sneak is useful. I lose a bunch of health, so I drink some dirty water and take a bunch of rads. With how much rads it took, I can really only do this one time. I get the holotip I need, and I'm headed over to Vault 112. Along the way, I tell the boy where his new home is, and apparently get a level out of it, so cool. Let's grab melee and sneak. Fortunately, I can't use schematics. This just made me think, what could you possibly craft? In New Vegas, we might be able to make some repair kits, so we'll keep that in mind. Vault 112's pretty cool. We can't enter the simulation without wearing a Vault 112 suit, so does this count as using an item? Comment below. Anyway, I just end up doing what I want. I enter the simulation. Like, I did the quick way. I just caused a Chinese uprising, and we're out of here. Hey, Dad. What's up? Good to see you. Oh, we're going back to Rivet City? Okay, cool. Let's go. But I'm going to go ahead and grab me a bunch of sneak and a bunch of melee weapons. And purchase some more toughness. I really don't like taking damage. Oh, looks like we have to go back over to Jefferson Memorial, and I actually have to clear it out this time. Combat with super mutants, pretty fun. Like, using heavy strikes is a thing, so I start doing that, and it works pretty well. Also, Dad's mad that I blew up a town, but who cares about that? That was like 2 hours ago. Project Purity up and running, and the American government shows up. They fight the super mutants and take care of up on the catwalk. Didn't know that could happen. Fighting Enclave sucks. So anyway, my dad's dead and we have to get out of here. Me and the remaining scientists have to make our way through these tunnels to get over to the Brotherhood of Steel. Some guy has a problem with his heart, so we go ahead and resolve that permanently. And once we're outside, I go ahead and collect a little bit more XP. Only Dr. Lee needs to make it after all. And with that extra XP, I get a level up, so guns, lockpick, and melee weapons. We've made it to the Brotherhood of Steel. Time to get the Gek. The Gek's inside of a vault inside of a little lamplight. On the way there, I pass Big Town and I decide, hey, you know what? Might as well help them now. I can actually kill mutants. Sometimes. And I save the 2 people that were trapped. I then teach the town how to be cowards, and that works. The trip to Little Lamplight was pretty uneventful. I did kill a slave by accident and fight a bear, but, you know, these things happen. Mayor McCree's a jerk about letting you in. Usually I use the Child at Heart perk to get me in, but I didn't have that. And for some reason in my brain I concocted the idea that I was going to level up like 8 times to increase my charisma to the point I need to be in order to get the perk. But then I remembered we can just do a quest. For a little bit of extra XP, I wipe out the ghouls that are harassing Timpani Towers. Don't really care what the karma system says about this. XP is XP. I take lockpick and melee weapons. For my perk, it takes intense training to take some charisma. Again, for some reason, I had this terrible idea, which I then bailed on the next 10 seconds. I head over to Paradise Falls to complete the quest to let me into Little Lamplight. I don't want to do slaver work, and I can't get the perk, so I guess we're just gonna wipe everyone out. This took a few days of in-game time, as I just kept teleporting back to Timpani's Tower to heal, because why would I waste stim packs on this? With the last of the raiders dealt with, we can free the kids, and with that we have access to Little Lamplight and the vault. However, fighting through a bunch of super mutants just sounded like a unpleasant idea. I decided to go pick up a little more XP to get my science up. With that, I'd be able to hack a terminal and just ignore Murder Pass. Canterbury Commons would be a pretty good place to go. I think I'll go there. It wasn't a great place to go. I got shot in the face by a robot and almost got taken out by a bunch of Enclave members, but I finally got there to do this superhuman gambit. I've memorized the antagonizer's lair by heart and I know where the exit is. Pop in there, take her out, complete the quest, good XP. Like, I still need some more XP and I couldn't figure out a good place to go. Then I remembered, oh yeah, there's this DLC where you play in a video game, and since it's a video game, it's not the actual game, and so that means I can equip whatever I want. Haha. For my first level in there, Science, Medicine, and Repair. And we're going to grab the Super Slam perk, which is a New Vegas perk, so this is actually cheating, but please ignore that. Melee and Lockpick for number 2. I was like a literal god throughout most of the DLC, except for fighting the final boss. He kind of beat me up. I did finally beat him by looping around some sandbags, and I'm able to ignore Murder Pass, which just let me get inside the vault, which is full of super mutants, which I can't kill. So running past all the super mutants, I let Fox out and just let him deal with all my issues. I healed up in a bed and I'm feeling good, and then Fox goes ahead and dies. Oh yeah, this is Fallout 3, your companions can die. Speaking of companions, if we do any of the other games, we're not going to allow companions, as they're just too strong. I didn't have any companions in this entire playthrough either. Anyway, I level up again and I get Bop Bop Boop, and I get the perk Bop, and Fox so kindly hands me the Gek. However, oh no, the Enclave arrive and knock me out, taking the Gek, so that way they can go and start the purifier and get pure water to the wasteland. They are the definition of evil. Anyway, escaping the Enclave is extremely easy. All you have to do is just get a bottle of Surge from the President and he lets you go. Escaping the facility isn't too hard. The Enclave have a lot of stuff to fight besides me, so I'm just going to run past and use my stim packs here. And we're heading back to Megaton. Even though we blew it up, Moira Brown is still here, and we'll still repair our stuff. And we go ahead and use our one repair for the entire playthrough to repair our bat. Now that we're geared up, it's time to march on the Purifier. Of course, this is easy because Liberty Prime is here to deal with it all. The issue is going to be once we get inside the Purifier, and there's a bunch of Enclave dudes. But that repair did the trick. Suddenly my wooden baseball bat is cutting through power armor. And with that, I face down Colonel Autumn, pulling out my trusty 10mm, and I take him out. With that done, I dump the FEV into the Purifier, as that's the Vault-Tec approved ending. I'm trying to save the world after all. Let's get rid of all these mutations. And with that, I beat Fallout 3 without using any items, except for maybe 3 times, but those don't count. So can you beat Fallout 3 only using items from Vault 101? Absolutely. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Twitch. I'll be doing more of these playthroughs in the future. And with that, here's the ending I got. Until next time.
Oh, good. I thought the game glitched. I was scared.
That the lone wanderer ventured forth from Vault 101, intent on discovering the fate of a father who had once sacrificed the future of humanity for that of his only child. The capital wasteland proved a cruel, inhospitable place.
Damn right about that.
But it was not until the end of this long road that the lone wanderer learned the true meaning of that greatest
Did I not get
of
any end
virtues,
cards?
sacrifice. Stepping into the irradiated control
I did
chamber
side
of
quests.
Project
It didn't give me any end cards.
the child followed the example of the father, sacrificing life
Just
itself
said, the world
for
sucks.
the greater good of mankind.
Which is fair. I mostly just did the main story.
Sadly, when
Oh, here we go.
selected by the sinister president to be his instrument of annihilation, the Wanderer agreed. Humanity would be preserved, but only in its purest form. The waters of life flowed at last, but the virus contained within soon eradicated all those deemed unworthy of salvation. The capital wasteland, despite its progress, became a graveyard.
Shoo-wee.
So ends the story of the lone wanderer, who stepped through the great door of Vault 101 and into the annals of legend. But the tale of humanity will never come to a close, for the struggle of survival is a war without end. And war never changes.